Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? Mr. Sandman is signing back in his shit. Now I'm about to talk about Raw from this past Monday. You know what I'm saying? Which took place in Corpus Christi, Texas. Is it Texas? Is Corpus Christi? I'm not too sure. Comment down below. Anyways, it starts off with Seth Rollins outside the arena, basically saying he's gonna call out the Demon King tonight. So, basically, we get to see the Demon King. I wish they would have waited, but we'll get to that later on. In-ring segment, we had, this dude, Rusev and Lana or whatever, basically spazzing about the whole Roman Reigns shit, about him ruining their wedding celebration, so to speak. Well, them celebrating their wedding. So he's out mad or whatever. Rusev is spazzing. And basically, Foley comes out and tells him he got to leave, leave out the ring so he can start the show, because Rusev said it's not going to be no Raw if Roman Reigns don't come out and give me an apology or whatever. So we know Foley wasn't trying to hear that. Foley was out trying to tell him to leave. And basically after that, Stephanie came out and Rusev tried to kiss her ass or whatever, but Stephanie wasn't hearing that. She was basically saying like, oh, how they disrespect Mick Foley, and Mick Foley's a legend, and yada yada yada. So after all that, this dude Roman Reigns interrupts them all and says Rusev met Lana off a website, and then when they bump uglies, they're gonna make a whole bunch of Sasquatch babies. Pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little funny joke, especially coming from Roman Reigns. He actually got a little giggle out of me out of that one. Just a little giggle. And then basically after that, this dude Foley makes them fight for the main event. That's the thing. So I'm like, yo, why you have these dudes fighting? Why you have them fighting tonight? Why? What the hell is the deal with WWE always fucking blowing their load too damn early? Why they just couldn't wait till SummerSlam for them to fight? They could have Roman Reigns or Rusev fight somebody else and basically have another, at ringside. Like, so like if Rusev had a fight, Roman could have been at ringside, or vice versa. Why did you have to have these dudes? And then this is shit I be talking about with WWE, man. I be trying to bust out the rant, but it's hard not to, because it's like, yo, what the fuck? They do the most craziest, stupidest shit. How you supposed to set the pay-per-view and you got these dudes and for the belt, for the U.S. title, mind you? This is why the U.S. title doesn't mean any fucking thing. Because of dumb shit like this. And they're going to sit there and be like, oh, he's fighting for Lana's honor. Really? Fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Moving on. This dude, Sami Zayn, had a fight with Sheamus. So basically, Sheamus is calling Sami Zayn a Sheamus wannabe and yada yada yada, saying that, basically still shitting on the new era, saying the new era ain't shit. And then Sami Zayn comes out and they basically show a tweet that Sami Zayn had posted saying that nobody doesn't really like Sheamus in the locker room. And I ain't gonna lie, I done heard plenty of stories about Sheamus, trying to bully motherfuckers or what may have you. Then after that, he'd get his ass handed to him. So it can't be too far from the truth. Oh man, but anyways, Zayn, had a nice little aggressive match between Zayn and Sheamus. Had Cesaro on commentary, basically talking about him, overcoming Sheamus, a couple of times here and there. Say that he's a better wrestler, basically talking shit. So after that, Cesaro tries to interfere in the match while this dude, Sheamus, is next to the turnbuckle. He interferes or whatever and distracts Sheamus. But Sheamus was about to set this guy Sami Zayn up for a bro kick. But, when he got distracted, Sami Zayn catches him with the haluva kick and pinned Sheamus. Really, you caught him really good too. But he got the pin on Sheamus. This dude, Sami Zayn, wins. Then after that, we get a backstage segment with Jericho, or Jericho, whatever you want to call him. Jericho. Or Jericho a little better. You know, they basically talking shit about, you know, like basically this dude, Kevin Owens got a match against this guy, Big Cass, tonight. And he was basically, you know, just, you know, talking shit like, yeah, they're going to beat him at SummerSlam. They got each other's back. You know what I mean? What may have you. You know, then after he had a backstage segment with Cesaro and Sheamus. Basically, everybody's trying to you know, split them apart. All the referees and Foley trying to separate them because they're trying to, you know, fight each other. And this motherfucker Foley, he makes a best out of 7 match between Cesaro and Sheamus. Who the fuck wants to see that? 7. This ain't like Booker T versus Chris Benoit, or, you know what I'm saying, or Booker T versus Fit Finlay when it was in WCW, where you'd be like, yeah, at least I'm gonna get some good quality matches out this shit. What quality matches are you gonna get out of Cesaro versus Sheamus? And let alone 7 like, oh my god, a best of 7? Are you trying to lose your fan base? Because that's what it looks like y'all are doing for making the crazy. Then why just gonna be a best out of 3? Something real quick, so we can fucking move on from this feud that nobody is not, like, none of them is not gaining anything from it. You put this dude Cesaro in the motherfucking match at the last minute against fucking Rusev, which I don't get, because you could easily just put this dude alongside Roman Reigns and fucking Rusev and made it a triple threat for the U.S. title. That would have been a little more entertaining. But no, you want to fucking just make impromptu main event matches. Well, you know, nonetheless, I do like how they building Rusev. I'll get to him soon. But after that, you had the New Day versus the Dudleys. And then basically you had you know, these dudes, the club, on they doctor shit. They was on the Titantron or whatever, basically talking about ring postitis and talking about, you know, they microwaving, like they using like eggs as testicles, so to speak. So like they'll put one of the eggs in the microwave and it should explode. That's supposed to be Big E's nuts or whatever. Just basically mocking Big E. And they said, oh, for them to know the cure for ring postitis, they're gonna need to basically catch Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods with that same move. I'm glad that they got a little something going though. They got a nice little storyline going. I'm glad for that. You know, that move is pretty lethal too. When they just grab your legs and just pull you to the fucking ring post on balls first. Cause they caught this dude fucking Big E with that lovely. And I don't even think he's out for that shit. I think he's out for laying on his goddamn neck too damn much from doing that cross body shit through the ropes. He always do that spear or cross body through the ropes, and then he always lands on his neck. I think this is that ring postitis shit just to take off the fact that this dude lands on his neck like every fucking week. But basically, these dudes just squashed the Dudley Boys. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I understand Dudley Boys is trying to, you know, you're trying to sit there and get these guys over or whatever, which is really not needed, because the New Day is already over as hell. You got this motherfucker look like that was terrible for the Dudley Boys to lose that fast. I don't think I ever seen the Dudleys in a squash match before. That shit was very, very terrible. I remember it was one time they fought they did fight the Eliminators in ECW. I think it was for their first pay-per-view. I think it was for what was it, One Night Stand? No, not One Night Stand. was barely legal. I think it was barely legal. Yeah, that was a squash match, but at least they lasted longer than fucking 2 minutes. Like, that shit was terrible, B. Like, and I think the only reason why they did that shit is because they was in TNA, so Vince is gonna punish them. He's gonna constantly punish them. I don't think they'll ever win the tag titles. Moving on. You know, you got Rollins basically looking for the Demon King. Like, you know, walk down the hallway, asking people if they seen the Demon King. So he ends up bumping into Neville. And Neville basically gives him some advice like, yo, I'm telling you right now, I fought Finn Balor and I fought the Demon King. You don't want to win none of them, especially the Demon King. You're not ready. And he walks off. So of course Seth Rollins with his arrogant stuff, he ain't trying to hear that. She's like, whatever. So next you have a match between Nia Jax versus the Jobber. She just straight, you know, just squashes her. Business as usual when it comes to Nia Jax. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like that they building these monster heels like this, like how they used to do in like Superstars, you know, or Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm glad they're doing that shit and bringing that squash. You know, bringing back that shit when you had the monster heels beat up the jobbers. I like that they bring that shit back. So make these show off these dudes divas moveset. Get them a little over, you know, so when they get into a rivalry or whatever, people get more invested. Then after that, you had an in-ring segment with this new Heyman and Lesnar. And this dude, Heath Slater, has a death wish. He just comes in and interrupts this dude, fucking Heyman. And I'm like, whoa. Alright now, Slater. What type of cocaine did you sniff to even think you could just come out and just... And then face Brock. Like, they even try to ignore him. He was like, hey! Don't ignore me! I deserve some respect, damn it! I'm the hottest free agent, and yada yada yada. I'm like, yo, this dude here got some fucking cojones. But sure, you know, that shit didn't last long. So, you know, this dude sat here and said he had to, I don't know, feed his kids and all that. So Brock was like, oh, word? No, I can feel where you coming from. Now, come in the ring. I can feel where you coming from. You know, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? I got kids myself. But guess what? I don't give a fuck about your kids. I was like, yo, I love Brock. He's just so fucking real with it. He was like, I'm telling you now, I'm giving you two fucking choices. You either, you know, leave the ring or get your ass whipped. So this dude, he said he's about to leave the ring and fakes Brock Lesnar and tries to attack him. Why did he do that? This dude, Brock Lesnar clothesline this dude, he slayed it to oblivion. Lays him out. That you already know it's Suplex City time. Threw this dude all over the motherfucking place. Landed on his neck. Then after that, F5 kicked him out of the ring. Destroyed Heath Slater real quick. Then after that, Heyman sells the match, Viperville versus Suplex City. I ain't gonna lie, I can't wait. I really can't wait to see what happens in this match. I am a little excited. I'm a little intrigued. I'm glad these dudes ain't put them in the motherfucking match before the fucking pay-per-view. Shit. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, I got the match with Kevin Owens with Y2J in his corner versus Kaz with Enzo in his corner. You know, then the match really didn't last too long. You know, but before that, you know, Enzo and Kaz do their normal shtick, and they was basically, you know, making fun of Jericho, and then talking about they coming back to their hometown, and you know, all that other fly shit, because you know SummerSlam's in Brooklyn. So basically, this dude Owens get disqualified because Jericho hit Kaz from the back with an elbow. So they started beating up Kaz, which makes sense. Yeah, beat up Kaz. He's the bigger out the two. You know, soften them up before the pay-per-view. And then they catch him with the Super Code Breaker. Basically, the Super Code Breaker is this dude, Kevin Owens, caught this dude with shin music. And after he caught Big Kaz with shin music, this guy, Jericho, catches him with the Code Breaker and finishes him off. I call it the Super Code Breaker. Moving on. You know what I'm saying? You got a backstage segment where basically Rusev and Roman Reigns get into a fight or whatever. And this dude starts working on Roman Reigns' ribs. Like, he caught him with a splash up against the door or whatever, because Roman Reigns had his back against the door, and this dude caught him with a splash. And that shit looked like it hurt Roman Reigns' ribs. Like, basically took all the air out of his ribs. So, you know, that got him coughing or whatever, got him suffering and having problems breathing. And this dude, Finley, comes to pick him up, break them up. I'm like, damn, Finley, what the fuck ever happened to you? Like, you was like one of the most legit motherfuckers on SmackDown when it came to the, you know, the mid card. Now you head of security? Damn, B. That shit is just like when I see Sergeant Slaughter being head of security. Like, my man, you was a world heavyweight champion. How you the world heavyweight champion 1 minute and the next minute you head of security? Oh man, I guess anything for a paycheck, huh? Moving on, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the reunion of the primetime players versus the Shining Stars. You know, basically Titus O'Neil was sitting there telling Darren Young and Bob Backlund, like, yo, we still got, I think the primetime players still got another run left in us. Let's see what happens tonight. And you know, and these dudes agreed. So they got in the match with the Shining Stars. So during the match, this dude, basically Titus O'Neil was on the apron, and Darren Young was the legal man. So this dude Bob Backlund basically like taps this guy Titus O'Neil to try to tell him something. So when this dude Titus O'Neil leans down to listen to what the hell this dude had to say, Bob Backlund had to say, this guy Darren Young was whipping off the ropes and he knocked him off the apron by accident. But Titus O'Neil didn't see that though. I guess he thought that he did that shit on purpose. After that shit, yo, this dude ran in the ring and caught Darren Young with the most sickest clash of the Titans I've ever seen ever. I mean, he threw this dude mad high in the air. Caught him lovely. Then after that, basically, Primo just pins Darren Young and the Shining Stars get the victory. Moving on. You got, Jinder Mahal versus Neville. You know what I mean? First match for Jinder Mahal. He got the new thing going on, the new Arabian mask, Arabian scarf or whatever. So he got a new look or whatever. But I already know he's gonna job the fuck out. They're not gonna really put no faith in no damn Jinder Mahal. So they basically fed him to Neville. At least he got one kickoff though. That Yakuza kick he does is crazy. Like, he caught this dude Neville lovely with that Yakuza kick, but to no avail. This dude Neville, starts doing his thing. You know what I mean? Did the crane kick, fighting pose, and all that shit. And just bust his ass, caught him with the red arrow and pinned him. That was it. Neville wins. Then you get an office segment where Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon, they chopping it up or whatever. And then Rollins comes in the office. And it's basically, talks about he's tired. He went all around the arena looking for the Demon King, and he didn't find the Demon King, so he basically asked for the night off, because he's like, you know what, there's nothing for me to do. Stephanie was saying the same thing, like, well, we don't have nothing for you, so, I guess you could just ask Mick if you just had the night off, and then, you go home or whatever. But Mick Foley was like, well, I do got something for you to do. Why don't you just go out in the ring and call out the Demon King? Like, that's what everybody does when they want a response. Hey, go out in the ring and call him out. So Seth Rollins was like, you know what, fuck it, that's what I'm gonna do. So you get the in-ring segment with Rollins. You know what I mean? He's talking his shit or whatever. Still asking for the Demon King. And then the fan comes in. He had to push the fan out the way and shit. After he pushed the fan out the way, he's like, that's the Demon King? Ha 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 ha! That's the Demon King! Ha 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 ha! You know how we do that obnoxious laugh. So, after that, that's when the lights start to flicker. And Lo and behold, the Demon King arrives before SummerSlam. Great entrance, horrible timing. Why I couldn't wait for SummerSlam to bring him out? But it was cool. You know what I mean? A holy shit chant. You know, of course, you're gonna get a holy shit chant because that entrance is hot. So after that, you know, they got into their little scuffle or whatever. And this dude basically overcame. You know, Demon King overcame. Got this dude Seth Rollins running. So the match is set. Demon King versus Seth Rollins be for the first ever Universal Championship. Let's see who's gonna be the first ever Universal Champ. Next, you got Golden Truth versus the Club. You know, the Club came through with the jaws or whatever. They got the Big E jaw. They got the Xavier jaw, and they got the Kofi jaw. But why is like Big E jaw was mad big, and then you have Xavier and Kofi Kingston, their jaws is getting smaller and smaller. They stupid. Like them dudes don't got no kind of ball. They got little balls or whatever. But anyways, it was typical squash match. Called this guy with Goldust with the Magic Killer, and Gallows just pins Goldust. The Club with the win. And then after that, New Day comes out and start beating up on the Club or whatever. I'm like, yo, alright now. Now they trying to make these dudes look man invincible. I mean, this only Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston we're talking about. It's only them two, and they got them running around like they man invincible now. Like, give me a break. But anyways, they was gonna catch I forgot who they was gonna catch ring postitis. And the other person's I think it was Anderson. They was about to catch Anderson while ring postitis, but Gallows came and stopped them or whatever. He basically pulled this dude out the ring. Cause he was about to catch this dude ring postitis. The trumpet, I think the trumpet name was Lucille, I think. Or Josephine. Whatever the trumpet name is. He was gonna catch him in the nuts with that shit. But he got pulled out the ring. I forgot who it was. Gallows or Anderson. But anyways, he had a backstage segment with Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Basically, Charlotte sitting there saying that, Dana Brooke failed her. And after she beat Sasha Banks for the women's title and gets the title back, she's gonna see if basically she could get Dana Brooke replaced. And then they showed the quick little promo commercial for NXT Takeover and BK Part 2. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I wish I could go and see that shit, man. But I know that shit is gonna be so good, man. Like my boy Samoa Joe holding it down, and my dude, and he gotta fight Shinsuke Nakamura. Like I don't even know who to go for. I know that match is gonna be just off the fucking chain. Damn, man. Like I guess I'll just watch it from home. I wish I could be there to see that shit though. That's something I would love to pay money to go see. But funds is low. It happens. Moving on, you got Alicia Fox versus Charlotte. You got Sasha Banks on commentary. Then it was basically a squash match. Charlotte catches Alicia Fox with the natural selection and pins her. Like Alicia Fox deserves much better than this, man. Like really, like how much dues you have to pay? Like this is shit that motherfuckers be talking about with Vince. You sit there and be a jobber, pay your dues, and then just because he don't like you or whatever, he will just get rid of you. That's not right. Because it's not like you can sit there and be like, oh, he told me to job, but I'm not going to job. I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that or you'll be out of a job. So it's fucking wrong for him to be doing shit like this. Like, how much times, like, a motherfucker like Zack Ryder or a motherfucker like, who else? Heath Slater and shit. You got these motherfuckers just constantly jobbing. But there's no fucking pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You're just gonna be known as a jobber for the rest of your career. Unless you move somewhere else and hopefully you get better treatment. This shit is fucking pathetic. Like, I really feel that Fox should be like, I want out of my contract Fuck the money. I'm putting my body on the motherfucking line for like over 10 years. She's been in the Divas division. And she only held the Divas belt like what? Once? And that fucking title reign was so fucking forgettable. Moving on, B. You know what I'm saying? Basically, Charlotte calls Sasha Banks in the ring. Sasha Banks comes in the ring and she falls for the old 4 horsemen trick. Just like how Arn Anderson and Ric Flair was supposed to have beef. But they that shit was all a setup to bait Sting in. So she basically did the same thing to Sasha Banks. Put it you know what I mean, they beat her up, she put her in the figure 4 leg lock. They threw her in the figure 4 leg lock till she started tapping, yada yada yada. To make Charlotte look good. So you already know what that means. Every time when the opposition looks good in the go home show, you already know the other person's gonna win the fucking pay-per-view. That deal is like, it's so fucking common, like it's not even funny. You already know what's gonna happen. Vince makes shit so fucking predictable for so many years. You already know what's gonna happen. But anyways, moving on, you got the main event with fucking Roman Reigns against Rusev. I'm not gonna lie, this is a real good match. Wish it could have happened on fucking SummerSlam where it would have really counted. You know, this dude is really getting a little better. I don't care what nobody says. I've been watching Roman Reigns for a long time. He's getting a little better, and at least he's trying to get better. You can see it. Like, he was really selling the arm injury, selling the ribs. You know, this dude was working on the arm and the ribs, and he's really selling it. You know, like, he always catch him trying to shake his hands to get feeling back in his arm, or you always see him clutching his arm or clutching his ribs. Like, you see him, not like from before, where you do all types of shit to him and he never sells anything, then it catches you with a spear, and then game over. Well, he did do that, but still, you know, he still fucking was, clinching his injury, like he's legitimately hurt. And I'll applaud Roman Reigns for that. That's good. Yes, you are trying to improve. Keep it up. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. Like, so far so good with Roman Reigns. Ever since the draft started, Roman Reigns has really been, stepping up. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm impressed. I'm a little impressed. Keep it up. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like I said, this dude Roman Reigns spares Rusev. Business as usual, and basically pins Rusev. So basically, this dude didn't defend Lana's honor. And I understand why they did that, because, the following week he did beat Cesaro. I was about to say Claudio Castagnoli, whatever his name is, but he did beat Cesaro, so it's only right for him to lose tonight. And that was Raw. Like, Raw, there was a lot of fucking squash matches, B. This shit, and I hate when they do this shit for go-home shows. You supposed to be trying to sell the fucking pay-per-view. Stop having so much fucking squash matches, for Christ's sake. How can you get people involved if all you have is squash matches, and then your main fucking your main events, you got these motherfuckers fighting for like long periods of time. So why the fuck would I even want to buy the pay-per-view? Or sub to the fucking network if I already done see these dudes fight for like a good over 10 minutes? This shit is crazy. Raw was not really all that good tonight, man. Raw, it was very passable. Like, too much fucking backstage shit, too much fucking squash matches. Dudley Boys is looking like a fucking joke. You got New Day running around beating everybody up like they're invincible now. Give me a fucking break, B. SmackDown Live review coming next. Peace out, motherfuckers.